Good morning, everybody. This is Patrick MontesDeOca with the Equity Management Academy. I want to take the opportunity to do a special report. I'm looking at a couple of things in the gold market that I think we want to talk about a little bit. Give me a second here, and I want to set the screen up correctly here. But it's very interesting that we have this correction coming, and I want to point out to a couple of things. Number one, it's looking at basically some indication of what I call down flags, and we have one here. And we can connect the dots over here as well. And this is what I call bear flags, or down pennant formations, that are pretty strong indications when you use them that are able to identify breakout points or bottom confirmations. And when the market breaks out above them, it's a bullish indication that much higher prices are underway. And in order to measure how high they can go, obviously, trend lines is a very good way of doing it. And I use trend lines for that purpose. Let's see if we can take a look at some Fibonacci fan lines that connect the low of 1130.40 for gold and the recent high that we made in January 22nd, approximately about 1308, 1307.80. And we have a pretty clear picture that what has happened here is that the market basically has come down into testing this trend lines levels of support. This is the first level. Obviously, we've broken the second level, and the third level is about 1213. 1213 in that vicinity. More, we are in support now of about 1240 to 1221. So let's take a look and see exactly where we are by using Fibonacci retracement, using the same criteria as the Fend lines. And we look very clearly that the 38.2% retracement of 1239.70 has been breached, and the 50% retracement is at about 1218, 1219. And we are into major support. So usually this area ideally is an area where you can define major support, after a correction that we seem to be in. But I also want to point out that if you take a look at where we what has happened recently, we seem to be identifying the same pattern, which is a down flag. And we are pretty much trading within that area. Okay. Let me see if I can bring some more trend lines and see what they're telling us here. This line here basically is the long-term downtrend line resistance that was made since about August of 2014. Basically around the highs that we're looking at about 1324 to 1322 for the gold market. And obviously recently we got up to about 1307 before the market decided to make this correction all the way down to what appears to be major area of support. Now, if we incorporate basically the code signals that we're using as well into the equation here, we seem to be in a major area of support, 1257 to 1231. And so the question is whether the market is going to come down into that 50 or 61.8% retracement, or it's going to turn around from here. The expectation before this correction were that we were going to go up possibly and test the highs of about 1324, which didn't happen. Instead, and by the way, those expectations were that high should be coming in sometime between February the 9th and the 10th, which is like Monday or Tuesday. So instead, it looks like we got an inverse cycle, possibly, that instead of coming down, or you might say making a top during that period of time, it's coming down, and that signifies basically that we could potentially be looking at some kind of a bottom down here. And this coincides with the Fibonacci retracements. This coincides with the fan trend lines, and this coincides pretty much with the algorithms that we use, that this area here seems to be very strong area of support once again. So what we want to see is the market reject these levels, and what I mean by rejecting is to come back up above 1257, okay, come back above 1257, and that would basically put the intermediate trend to up, or it would set the uptrend in place for the intermediate term. So it looks like we got some kind of inversion, and what we want to see is a little bit of price confirmation, but we are approaching major levels of support for the gold market. Once again, this is Patrick MontesDeOca. We'll keep you posted. Thank you.